furious Rachel Reeves has branded Jeremy Hunt a liar in an astonishing attack. The Chancellor ripped into her predecessor and his Tory colleagues, saying they lied about the dire state of public finances before the general election. This forced her to make tough decisions she didn't want to make, she said. Ms. Reeves made the incendiary claim on Sky News as she defended sweeping cuts, including the decision to stop winter fuel payments to nearly 10 million pensioners. When pressed about whether Mr. Hunt, who headed the Treasury until July 5, lied, she said, Jeremy Hunt covered up from the House of Commons and from the country the true state of the public finances. He did that knowingly and deliberately, host Wilfred Frost responded. So he's a liar? Ms. Reeves said, he lied and they lied during the election campaign about the state of the public finances. The Labour frontbencher continued, it is beyond reckless and irresponsible, and at a time when trust in politics is already an all-time low after Partygate, after all those contracts to friends and donors of the Conservative Party to then mislead people in that way during the general election about what was possible is unfair, and they should never be allowed to have their hands on power and our public finances again. The claim will further infuriate Mr. Hunt and his colleagues, who have desperately tried to maintain their innocence. Mr. Hunt told the BBC that the black hole has been trumped up and said, I am angry. Because I don't think it's the right way to do politics. In a tense clash in the Commons, Ms. Reeves yesterday said Rishi Sunak and his mates should hang their heads in shame and demanded an apology. She repeatedly told MPs, if we can't afford it, we can't do it. Ms. Reeves announced £5 billion in immediate savings, including giving the fuel payments only to those entitled to benefits. A cap on social care costs due to come in next year has been ditched, while plans for new hospitals, roads and railway lines have been scrapped. The Tories maintain that Labour should have known the situation before coming to government, and accused Labour of theatrics. But last night Richard Hughes, head of the Office for Budget Responsibility, said he only became aware of the pressures at a meeting with the Treasury last week. He said the findings from the Treasury audit, ordered by Ms. Reeves when she became Chancellor, would represent one of the largest year-ahead overspends outside of the pandemic. In the Commons, Ms. Reeves demanded the Conservatives apologise for the unforgivable situation they had left behind. She told MPs that the last government had given a false hope to Britain by promising roads that would never be built, public transport that would never arrive, hospitals that would never treat a single patient. But she also awarded £9.4 billion in above-inflation pay rises to public sector workers after accepting the recommendations of public pay bodies. She said government departments will have to absorb around a third of that by making savings. Speaking on Times Radio, she denied unleashing a new wave of austerity. Ms. Reeves said, yesterday I gave a pay rise to public sector workers worth £9.4 billion, as you pointed out at the beginning of this interview. That's not austerity. That is the first real-term pay increase for public sector workers for a decade. So this isn't austerity, but it is about making difficult choices to make sure that the sums always add up. And I was clear during the general election campaign that I will never make a promise without being able to say where the money is going to come from. I'm not going to change that now that I'm Chancellor of the Exchequer.